What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah, and today I still have the tag on my shirt. Today I'm finally doing a mental health video. I know it's been a really long time and I'm so sorry about that. If you don't know, I started my channel talking about my anxiety PTSD story. If you're interested in that video, I'll link it below. It kind of explains like my journey and like kind of what really started my anxiety, PTSD, depression kind of situation. Also, if you hear a little like, like I'm trying to catch my breath, it's because I'm still sick. I'm not fully there. I also have always had like issues with like my sinus. This is one reason I hate doing like a sit down like talking video, because it's just like so much talking and it's like so much harder, but I'm gonna do my best. So for today's video, as you can see by the title, I wanted to do 10 things that you should never say to somebody with anxiety or having an anxiety attack, panic attack, anything like that. I know a lot of people genuinely want to learn about mental health, like anxiety, depression, PTSD, all the things, but it's easier said than done when it's like doing research and stuff, but sometimes actually getting somebody's experience and hearing them out with people who actually deal with it can sometimes be easier. If you genuinely don't care or want to educate yourself, I'm sorry, but disrespectfully, I will say, you are part of the problem of why people feel like they can't express themselves when it comes to mental health, or they aren't taken serious enough. I realized that a lot more people are taking their own life because they feel like that's the only way out. And I just want to say that there's so many resources, and if you feel like you don't have anybody, please try to reach out to somebody or find help. I know it's not as easy. It's better said than done, but there's so many things you can try. You are so amazing, you are so loved, you are so cared for. I promise we would rather have you on this earth than gone. And I just want to make sure that you feel like you're not alone, because you're never alone. There's many people who battle these kind of situations and feelings. They just don't talk about it. And this is also your reminder to check on your happy friends, because some of the happiest people are fighting battles that you know nothing about, and you may never know, but it's just like a hard thing. Like, everybody has their own lives and they don't feel the need to check up on people all the time, which is completely okay. I'm not saying you have to literally check up on your people every single day. If you see something alarming, if they're a little more quiet, or they post something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, or they say certain things when you're talking to them, just ask if they're okay and if they need somebody. With all that being said, let's get right into the video. This one, we're gonna start with number one. It's all in your head. Yes and no. Okay, anxiety can really make you think things that aren't really happening, but then anxiety can also be caused by things that are happening. And saying it's all in my head, like, are you implying that I'm crazy? Is something wrong? That's how I personally take it. You make me feel like my feelings are not valid and that I'm just freaking out for no reason, or having a panic attack, or just kind of a little shaky, or just a little nervous, because it's all in my head. I caused that or something, I don't know. Just don't say it. Just don't. You think you're being helpful by saying, oh, it's all in your head. Actually, no, you're making me feel just a tad crazy. The second one, oh, this one's my favorite. Get over it. If it was that easy, I would have got over it, because I would rather get over it than spend my entire day miserable, full of anxiety, not wanting to do anything, canceling plans, just going to sleep, wasting my whole day. Maybe you called into work because it was so bad, or canceled plans with your friends or family because your anxiety was so bad. Now, who would rather just get over it than do that? It's not that easy to just get over it. Sorry, if it was that easy, so many of my problems would be gone. Just relax. Now, as much as I'd like to say certain things help, like the breathing exercises, or let me know things that you list off, or 5 things that you see or touch or whatever, like there's certain There's certain exercises you can do, which are probably helpful to a lot of people. They've helped me a few times, not every time, but there's a lot of exercises you can do that are supposed to help you just relax. But at the same time, you have to understand, sometimes people feel like they're in like fight or flight when they're going through anxiety or having a panic attack or anxiety attack. It's not easy to just relax. Yes, I can try as hard as I possibly can, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. You're literally telling me something that I already know that I need to try to do, but it's not working out for me. Also, I wanted to mention one thing that I saw when I was kind of researching things. Some of these are my opinion, some I actually researched and thought it would be great to put in the video. One of the things that said to just relax is, that's like telling a person with a cold not to sneeze. And I thought that was very fitting. I want to say all of these are my favorite because as personally somebody who has experienced certain things in my past with this certain situation, hits a little close to home for me. This one is you need a drink. Yes, a lot of people say it jokingly, like, oh, you need to just have a drink, but a lot of people are actually genuinely serious. And one, you don't know people's past. You don't know if they're a recovering alcoholic. You don't know what their life was like before. You don't know if they have a family member or family members with a past of drinking. You don't know if that's a trigger. And coming from somebody who had a lot of family who were alcoholics or drug addicts is what it is. I'm just saying it. The last thing I want to do is drink my problems away. I don't want to self-medicate myself with alcohol. It's very dangerous and just not the correct way to take care of things, in my opinion. Especially with somebody who doesn't drink. Don't encourage me to start because I have problems. I feel like that is how many people start to drink. They use alcohol or drugs or whatever it is to self-medicate, and then it just goes spiraling down from there. This is a very, very dangerous thing to say to people, whether they're a recovering alcoholic, whether they're still an alcoholic, whether the person doesn't drink or not. Just don't say it. It's not a good thing to say. Now, I understand if you're close with certain people, you probably say these certain things, but just keep in mind, it's just not a good thing to say. Okay? There's so many other things you could say to people that are way, way less harmful and more helpful. This one, personally, I have heard a lot from a certain family member. I'm not going to call them out, but yeah, it's not one of my favorite things to hear. I'm stressed out too. That's great. That's really, really good to know. But I feel like with you saying you're stressed out, you're making my feelings less valid, making me feel like the severity of my situation is not severe, I guess you would say, or that it doesn't matter, or that everybody's stressed out and you should just not be stressed out, or you just need to relax because everybody's going through something. And of course everybody's going through something. Everybody has lives, everybody has problems, everybody just has something they're going through. That's a given. Everybody knows that. You don't need to remind me that you're stressed. One thing you can say, which some people don't like, but I don't mind it, is saying you know how they feel, or I know how you feel, you know, you're not alone. That's one thing. Some people don't like that because, you know, it's like, you don't know how I feel. You don't know what's going on in my head. But like certain people who are you close to, like, for example, my husband or maybe my sister, my mom, they know what's going on. So they might say, yeah, I know what you're going through, or, you know, I know this like is a trauma, like kind of trigger, or whatever it is. I feel like some people mean well when they say it, but yeah, that's just, I don't know. It's not a super good thing to say. This one in particular really hurt people. It could be worse. Others have it worse than you. Let's start with it could be worse. Of course it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. But in my mind, while I'm having anxiety or dealing with anxiety or having a panic attack or anxiety attack, I think this is the worst it could be right now. Like literally in my head, I'm like, oh my God, everything is just terrible right now. And I just can't get that out of my mind. Like, there's so many things that you can really, really feel. Anxiety is really, really powerful, and it's awful to say, but it is. There's so many times where I'm having a panic attack, anxiety attack, or just having a little bit of anxiety. I think the worst of the worst, like, if you watch my PTSD anxiety video, you know that the video is about a death about my dad. And so my anxiety and PTSD is very, very triggered revolving death. So when I have anxiety, the biggest trigger is wondering if Alex is safe, if he's gonna get home safe, if something's gonna happen to him tomorrow. Before I started dating Alex, my biggest worry was my mom. I was always afraid something was wrong with her or something was going to happen to her. I still think about this every day. Things have helped, like medication has helped, therapy has helped me understand a little more how that's just kind of a trauma response that is normal, I guess. So saying things could be worse, again, my mind is considering this the worst of the worst right now, so it's just don't say it. And for the second one, kind of following up with that, is others have it worse. I'm sure a lot of people have it worse than I do. Actually, I know people have it worse than I do. That does not mean that my feelings are not valid and my problems are not severe, or that my problems don't matter. Because just because somebody has it worse than me doesn't mean that my problems are not problems, or my anxiety is not my anxiety, or it doesn't matter because somebody else is experiencing it worse than me. It just really is just a negative thing to say, and it really invalidates people's feelings and makes them feel like that their problems are less important. Yes, I have a roof over my head, I have food on the table, I have an amazing husband, I have family, I have my dog. Yes, I have a lot to be grateful and thankful for, but that does not mean I'm not allowed to have anxiety or be upset or whatever it is. One thing that is very, very important, if you take anything from this video, you can have it all and still feel like you don't want to live anymore. And I'm gonna put something in here from a recent loss Twitch from Ellen DeGeneres show, and he like did a bunch of other things, but I feel like a lot of people know him from there. This was a good post that I found on Facebook, and I'm going to share that with you now. So this is such a good post because this really reflects on you can have it all and feel like you have nothing, where it doesn't matter. Anxiety, depression, sadness, just anything in general does not matter if you have everything. That's why I feel like a lot of people think like celebrities, like, oh, you have money, you have everything. Why would you not want to be here anymore? Why would you want to end your life? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I could be a billionaire, have everything that I possibly want, the nicest house, the nicest car, buy my family houses. Like, everybody has that goal, I feel like. Does not mean I want to be here. It does not, having everything does not reflect how people feel. And I just want you to keep that in mind. It's a very hard thing to explain personally, but just because you have everything doesn't mean you feel like you have everything and you have everything to keep you going. So just keep that in mind when you say others have it worse. Other people have it better, and they still felt worse than I did. So it goes both ways. This one kind of correlates with just relax. Try harder. I could try as hard as I possibly can to help my anxiety. And does not mean it's gonna work. I mean, there is times I have tried, which I'm sure a lot of people have. I mean, trying to calm your anxiety, trying to not think the worst of the worst. It's not easy. And that's one thing you really need to understand, is it is not easy to just flip your mind like that. And it's just like, I feel like there's not much more to say. Just know that this is a really insensitive thing to say, and just don't, once again, just don't say it. Have you tried? This can be helpful, but I feel like in the middle of having an anxiety attack or just having anxiety or whatever it is, saying, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Isn't always as helpful as you think. I feel like this is something you could say after the fact, maybe, or like once the person has calmed down a little bit, be like, have you tried essential oils? Have you tried taking a bath? Have you tried getting on medication? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you tried therapy? Just like personally, when I'm going through anxiety, I don't want to think about things like that. Like, I just feel like in my head when I'm dealing with anxiety, I feel like you're saying like, oh, have you tried this to get rid of it? But I feel like it's not focusing on what I'm actually going through at the time. Like I said, this is something maybe you can kind of say to somebody after the fact. But during a panic attack, I'm sorry, I don't care what I could try. I just, like I said, I feel like I'm in the worst of the worst right now, and I just don't want to think about things that could, you know, potentially help. I don't know, this is just a personal opinion of mine. I don't know. A lot of people on the internet agreed when I researched as well. It just makes me feel like my feelings are less valid at the moment. When I'm dealing with anxiety, I really like to focus on what my anxiety is being caused by, or maybe it's not even being caused by something. There's been plenty of times I've been out and about shopping with Alex, and all of a sudden I have a panic attack and I start crying. It's just, it is what it is. It was a normal day. I was having fun shopping and had a panic attack, so yeah. We're kind of wrapping up. I have two more. This one is, worrying won't change anything. No shiz, okay? Of course worrying isn't gonna make anything better. It does not mean that's gonna stop me from worrying. Worrying about certain things is a normal thing to do. It is. I mean, if you're any normal human with feelings, you would know that. Of course, me worrying about if I'm gonna lose a family member by a car accident or a heart attack or whatever it is, of course, worrying about stuff like that every single day is not gonna change anything. But that doesn't mean that I can just control that and go about my day. Worrying is something personally something that I do a lot, and I'm trying to get better at it. But of course, like I said with this statement, of course worrying doesn't change anything. Does not mean I'm gonna stop worrying. So just don't say it. And for the last one, a generic, just like everybody says it, I feel like, who doesn't understand anxiety. It's just anxiety. It's not just anxiety, okay? Let me just say, I'm not gonna go in depth with this one because I feel like it's very explanatory. You are literally minimizing people's feelings by saying it's just anxiety. It's not just anxiety. I feel like people don't realize anxiety is triggered by so many things. And for example, with the past that I've had, my anxiety is very valid and very real. It's not just anxiety. I have a reason to have it. And even if you don't have a reason to have it and you just develop it in your life, I know people in my life who literally never had anxiety. Something happened in their life and now they have anxiety. They're on medication, they're going to therapy or whatever it is. Even if something hasn't caused it, it's not just anxiety. Like, just don't say it. Please just don't say it. This is like one of the worst things you could say to somebody because you just are making them feel like this small. All right, guys, that wraps up my video. I hope some of these were helpful or helped you understand a little better if you don't deal with anxiety, or even if you do deal with anxiety, maybe some of these were helpful to kind of understand for yourself or helping somebody else, because just because you deal with anxiety doesn't mean you know how to help other people. I mean, you may be very, very new in your anxiety journey and don't know what to say, so or things not to say. So sorry again for taking so long to upload a mental health video. Like I said, I know I really wanted to focus my channel on this and ending the stigma, but also it's hard to make certain videos when you're not in that place mentally. when things are going good for me, it's kind of hard to talk about anxiety or depression or PTSD. I kind of just don't want to think about it. So making a video obviously is thinking about it. So, but I'll do my best. I've really been enjoying making vlogs, as you can probably see. I know some people like my vlogs too, so I don't know. They make me happy and I really like editing them. So sorry for so many vlogs, but, and maybe some of my vlogs I'll actually leave my house. But as you guys know, I don't drive, so it's kind of hard for me to go do things without Alex here. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.